reflect on the last time you experienced a deep sense of anger. Perhaps it was triggered by an injustice, a betrayal, or even a moment of disappointment in yourself for falling short of your own expectations. How did you respond to that anger? Did you bury it deep inside, allow it to erupt uncontrollably, or try to redirect it into something constructive? Society often teaches us that anger is a negative emotion, something to be shunned, feared, or managed at all costs. But what if everything you believed about anger was misguided? What if it wasn't merely a force of destruction, but rather a concealed source of strength? One that, when recognized and embraced, could foster profound personal growth, resilience, and even success. History, philosophy, and psychology indicate that anger is not inherently harmful. In fact, it has fueled some of the most significant transformations in human history. Today, we will delve into how you can access the hidden potential of anger, transforming it into a catalyst for change rather than a source of despair. Yet, there's a poignant truth that many overlook: the way you confront your anger can shape the trajectory of your life. By the end of our discussion, you will gain a fresh perspective on this emotion, one that empowers you to wield it to your benefit. The final revelation, the most crucial insight, will alter not only your perception of anger but also how you view yourself. Is it merely an impulsive reaction, a slip into chaos, or is there a darker truth lurking beneath the surface? The reality is that anger is not just a fleeting emotional eruption. It carries a sinister message. It warns that something in your life is askew, that a boundary has been shattered, that a change is imperative. This response is ingrained in our very being, not as a flaw but as a primal instinct for survival. Throughout the ages, anger has ignited revolutions and upheavals. Consider the formidable leaders and revolutionaries. Martin Luther King Jr. was consumed by rage against racial injustice. Yet, instead of allowing it to engulf him, he harnessed it to ignite a movement that reshaped the world. Mahatma Gandhi, often celebrated for his peaceful demeanor, was deeply incensed by oppression, channeling that fury into an unyielding resolve. Even scientists, artists, and inventors have wielded their frustration and anger as a dark force to transcend their limits and birth something extraordinary. Yet, here lies the peril: many believe they are confined to two choices: either stifle their anger and feign its absence, or unleash it in a chaotic torrent. Neither path leads to salvation. Suppressed anger festers, morphing into resentment, bitterness, and stress, quietly corroding your very essence. Unchecked rage, conversely, can obliterate relationships, tarnish your reputation, and drive you to choices you will come to dread. The true revelation lies not in shunning anger, but in mastering its shadowy depths. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once remarked, "He who cannot control his wrath is weak. He who controls it completely is a fool. But he who masters and directs it is wise." This delicate equilibrium is one that most fail to grasp. To truly harness the power of anger, one must first recognize its presence, decode its sinister message, and channel its dark energy towards something of significance. Reflect on your own life. Have you ever felt deeply wronged, belittled, or cast aside? How did you respond? Did you allow that seething anger to ensnare you in its grasp? Or did you wield it as a weapon to rise, to evolve, to surge forward? The chasm between those who let anger devour them and those who manipulate it is vast and haunting. Consider the chilling truth: psychological studies reveal that controlled anger can sharpen focus, enhance performance, and bolster persistence. In one unsettling experiment, individuals who experienced a flicker of anger outperformed their neutral counterparts in problem-solving tasks. This is because, when tamed, anger fuels determination and extinguishes the fear of failure. Yet, to turn this volatile emotion into an ally, one must first alter their perspective, embracing the shadows that lurk within. Instead of perceiving it as an adversary, consider it a tool. Rather than stifling it or allowing it to erupt uncontrollably, take the time to listen to its message. Anger serves as a signal, a form of inner wisdom that often goes unacknowledged. The next time you feel it bubbling up, pause and ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to convey? Is there an injustice that demands attention? A change that longs to be made? A lesson that remains unlearned? This marks the initial step toward transforming anger into something powerful. Awareness, recognizing when and why anger surfaces, enables you to wield it rather than be overwhelmed by it. Yet, this is merely the beginning. As we delve deeper, we will uncover how to not only comprehend anger, but also channel it into success, resilience, and personal mastery. Take a moment to reflect. Have you been viewing anger as an enemy, or have you been allowing it to guide you toward change? The answer to that question may very well shape the course of your life. Now that we've established that anger is not the foe but a signal, a force that, when understood, can be transformed into something potent, it's time to explore further. The inquiry shifts from whether anger is good or bad to how you can master it and convert it into fuel for growth, achievement, and resilience. To achieve this, we must dissect the hidden mechanics of anger, what truly unfolds when you encounter this emotion. Physiologically, anger ignites a sinister chain reaction within the brain and body. The amygdala, that dark chamber of emotion, sends out a chilling alarm, unleashing a torrent of adrenaline. Your heart races, muscles coil like springs, and your focus sharpens to a razor's edge. This primal response prepares you for battle, a remnant of our evolutionary past where anger could mean the difference between life and death. But here lies the unsettling twist. While many believe that anger leads to reckless chaos, research reveals a more sinister truth. When harnessed, it can sharpen strategic thinking. A study in the journal Emotion uncovered that anger can transform individuals into cold, analytical decision-makers. Instead of succumbing to impulsive rage, those who master their fury can dissect situations with chilling clarity and execute calculated moves. This brings us to a crucial distinction: the line between reactive anger and intentional anger. Reactive anger is a tempest, impulsive, uncontrolled, and often destructive. It breeds regretful words, shattered relationships, and lost chances, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Intentional anger, however, is a calculated blaze, acknowledged and redirected toward a dark purpose. It fuels an unyielding determination, a fire that can consume or empower. The choice lies in how one wields this potent force. Intentional anger, in contrast, is anger that has been recognized, processed, and directed toward a specific objective. It serves as the driving force behind determination and the catalyst for change. Consider historical instances where anger was not only warranted, but essential: the civil rights movement, women's suffrage, and the struggle against various forms of oppression. These movements would not have occurred without anger, yet their leaders did not let it overwhelm them. Instead, they harnessed it, transforming it into strategy, resilience, and action. Now, think about your own experiences. Have you ever found that anger motivated you to take action? Perhaps there was a time when someone questioned your capabilities, and rather than giving in, you pushed yourself harder to prove them wrong. Or maybe frustration with a particular situation inspired you to make a significant life change, such as switching careers, leaving a toxic relationship, or challenging your own limits. These instances demonstrate that, when anger is channeled effectively, it can lead to transformation. But how can you ensure that you maintain control over your anger instead of allowing it to control you? The answer lies in 3 essential steps: recognition, reframing, and redirection. The first step, recognition, involves acknowledging anger as it arises. Many people either bottle it up or let it explode, but neither approach fosters growth. Instead, when you find yourself feeling anger, take a moment to recognize it without passing judgment. Ask yourself, what am I truly feeling? What sparked this emotion? Is there a deeper reason behind my anger? The second step, reframing, is where the real power lies. This involves changing your perspective on anger. Rather than viewing it as a purely negative force, consider it a signal that something in your life needs to change. Perhaps your anger is highlighting something you've been enduring that you shouldn't have to. Maybe it's pointing out an injustice that you can no longer overlook. Perhaps it serves as a reminder of your own potential, urging you to take action instead of remaining stuck in place. Finally, the third step is redirection. This is where you harness the energy of anger and direct it towards something constructive. Instead of letting it consume you, you channel that energy into working harder, pushing forward, innovating, and creating. This distinction separates those who let anger ruin them from those who transform it into a catalyst for change. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Can you recall a time when anger propelled you toward a positive change? How did it help you move forward instead of holding you back? And more importantly, are there aspects of your life right now where you could be harnessing your anger more effectively? We are only beginning to uncover the true potential of this emotion, and is a bittersweet journey. As we delve deeper into this journey, we will uncover chilling techniques that enable you to channel your anger not merely as a source of motivation, but as a catalyst for profound transformation. The most haunting revelation about anger is yet to be unveiled, one that will irrevocably alter your perception of challenges and adversity. Having examined the essence of anger and its potential to be reshaped into a tool for growth, we now stand on the precipice of a darker understanding, recognizing, reframing, and redirecting anger as merely the beginning of a sinister path. The true test, and the true power, lies in mastering this volatile energy. While many perceive anger as an uncontrollable tempest, surging forth without warning and demanding immediate reaction, the unsettling truth is that the most formidable individuals are not those who stifle their fury or unleash it in chaotic bursts. The truly formidable are those who wield their anger with surgical precision, like a finely honed blade rather than a wild inferno. To achieve this mastery, you must first embrace control. This does not equate to denial or suppression. It demands a chilling awareness and deliberate action. Only then can you harness the darkness within, transforming it into a force that fuels enduring success, resilience, and self-management. Anger is a form of energy, and like any energy, it can either be scattered and harmful or focused and beneficial. The way you decide to harness this energy will shape whether it leads to growth or self-destruction. A common misunderstanding about anger is that it is entirely uncontrollable, that once it flares up, it must either be unleashed immediately or stifled with force. But think about this: if anger were truly beyond our control, why do people often express it differently based on their surroundings? Someone might erupt in fury at home yet maintain their composure at work. They may lash out at a stranger, but keep calm when addressing someone in authority. This suggests that, on some level, anger is a choice. It is not merely a reflex, but something that can be guided. So how do we cultivate this kind of control? The answer lies in two essential principles: delayed response and strategic release. Delayed response involves recognizing anger in the moment without reacting right away. This doesn't mean dismissing the emotion. Rather, it means creating a space between feeling and action. When anger surfaces, take a breath, acknowledge it, and feel its weight. But instead of acting on impulse, allow yourself a moment, a few minutes, an hour, or even a day, to fully process it. During that time, reflect on what this anger is trying to communicate. What is the most constructive way to channel this energy? In the end, the struggle to manage anger can feel isolating, as if we are trapped in a cycle of our own making, longing for a way to break free. This brief pause can create a profound impact. It gives you the chance to distinguish between mere reaction and thoughtful response. It transforms a fleeting emotional impulse into a deliberate choice. And most crucially, it stops anger from dictating your actions. Instead, you find yourself in the position of managing it. The second principle is strategic release. Here, you harness the energy of anger and direct it towards something significant. Many remarkable achievements throughout history have been fueled by individuals who learn to convert their anger into motivation. Athletes push through their limits. Entrepreneurs strive to silence their critics. Artists and writers craft works that resonate deeply with the world. Take Thomas Edison, for instance. When his lab was consumed by flames, obliterating years of effort, he didn't let despair overwhelm him. Instead, he famously remarked, "Thank goodness all our mistakes were burned up. Now we can start again fresh." This perspective doesn't come naturally. It is cultivated. It's the capacity to take what could have been a crushing defeat and turn it into a source of strength. The same idea holds true for personal struggles. Rather than allowing anger to lead to destructive choices, consider, how can I channel this energy in a constructive way? Can you transform the pain of a failed relationship into a deeper sense of self-worth? Can you redirect the anger from workplace unfairness into a drive to advance your career? Can you convert the sting of rejection into an unwavering determination? These questions linger, reminding us of the weight of our emotions and the paths we choose to take. Consider this: many of the most accomplished individuals in the world were once overlooked, dismissed, or even mocked. Yet, rather than allowing that bitterness to engulf them, they transformed it into a powerful motivation to rise above their circumstances. They didn't let their feelings dictate their actions. Instead, they took charge of their emotions, and that made all the difference. Now, reflect on your own life. Is there a part of you that has been allowing anger to overpower you instead of channeling it for your benefit? Have there been moments when you reacted out of impulse, rather than with thoughtfulness? What might shift if, starting now, you chose to harness this energy instead of being its prisoner? The most profound change occurs when you stop viewing anger as something that happens to you and begin to see it as a tool you can wield. The most significant insight about anger is still to come, an understanding that, once grasped, could alter not just your relationship with anger, But with life itself, we have delved into anger as a force that can be acknowledged, managed, and directed toward personal growth. However, there lies a final layer, a deeper truth that distinguishes those who merely cope with their anger from those who truly master it. It's a bittersweet realization, one that may leave you pondering the weight of your own struggles. The true essence of anger lies not merely in its control or redirection. The ultimate mastery emerges when you transmute that anger into something far more potent: clarity, wisdom, and purpose. Consider this: what is the origin of anger? It is not simply a reaction. It serves as a harbinger, a dark whisper in the shadows, signaling that something in your life demands urgent attention. Yet, here's the chilling truth that many overlook: anger is not the conclusion of the journey. It is merely the beginning. Countless souls remain ensnared in their fury, convinced that the intensity of their feelings is sufficient. They allow it to engulf their thoughts, dictate their actions, and mold their very identities. But anger, in its raw form, does not forge lasting change. It is the actions born from profound understanding that do. The aim is not just to wield anger, but to transcend it, to channel its energy into something far more elevated. This is where wisdom emerges from the abyss. Anger is a primal force, but wisdom is its haunting refinement. Wisdom enables you to harness the inferno of anger and transform it into a flickering light, insight, perspective, and purpose. Reflect on history once more. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years in the darkness of a prison cell, unjustly accused, stripped of his freedom, and dehumanized. If anyone had the right to be engulfed by rage, it was he. Yet, when he finally stepped into the light, he refused to let that anger consume him. He metamorphosed it. Instead of seeking vengeance, he pursued unity, rising from the depths of despair to illuminate a path forward. Rather than letting resentment consume him, he channeled his anguish into a haunting vision of a world reborn. This is not a sign of weakness. It embodies the most profound strength. So, how do we take this chilling lesson and weave it into the fabric of our own lives? It begins with a single, unsettling question: what lurks beneath my anger? Reflect on a moment that ignited a deep fury within you. Perhaps it was a betrayal that cut to the bone, an injustice that left scars, a failure that haunts your dreams, or a regret that gnaws at your soul. Now, instead of fixating on the raw emotion, ponder: what dark truths is this anger revealing? Does it whisper that you need to fortify your boundaries? Does it expose a shadowy corner of your life where you've accepted far less than you deserve? Does it unveil a fractured part of yourself yearning for healing, growth, or transformation? When you dare to ask this question, a shift occurs. Anger morphs from a mere emotion into a sinister teacher. It ceases to be something that merely happens to you, transforming instead into a guide that leads you through the fog toward unsettling clarity. The most profound breakthroughs often emerge from the depths of despair. The job you lost may drive you toward a destiny you never imagined. The relationship that crumbled might unveil a path to self-discovery and a deeper sense of fulfillment. The rejection, the failure, the setback, these dark moments, ignited by anger, can lay the groundwork for something far more significant, but only if you are brave enough to peer beyond the emotion and uncover the lesson it conceals. Here lies the most profound realization of all. When you genuinely conquer anger, it no longer serves as your driving force. Instead, it transforms into a stepping stone rather than a crutch. You no longer wait for frustration to propel you. Instead, you move with intention, clarity, and direction, having trained yourself to act from wisdom rather than mere emotion. This represents the ultimate level of mastery. Not merely wielding anger, not just controlling it, but rising above it. Take a moment to ponder: how has anger shaped your life thus far? Have you allowed it to dictate your actions? Or have you harnessed it to propel yourself forward? And, more crucially, are you prepared to transcend it, to convert its flames into illumination, its energy into insight? The most significant transformation occurs not when you cling to anger, but when you elevate yourself beyond it. This is where true strength begins, and it all starts with you. Thank you for reflecting on this. Please share your thoughts.